Alright, so on this job we have going on here, we have a water feature that we're putting in. A pretty big water feature actually, so it's going to be pretty cool. Also, we're doing a lot of our rock panels on the walls, you know, our panel system. And then, but for this one, we do have a 3D rendering that we did for him just because it's a bigger job and there's a lot more going on. So we did a video for him. This is the initial video here. We're sure we're going to have changes along the way, but it kind of gives everybody an idea of what's going on. So we're up here on top of the water feature right now, or the framing for the water feature. What you see here is the pipe. This is where this is going to lead to our pump. That's going to be in the bottom of the an actual ponding area. This is going to pump your water up. It's going to come through this pipe, and we're going to have to cut it down. Of course, it's just stubbed out right now, but you're going to have rock panels here that look like real rock, and the water will just flow through, and we have it sloped enough. Alright, so right here we're looking at our we have the concrete flooring and then the framing for our water feature. And this is kind of what we were looking at in the drawing before. The water is going to come off of the top here and basically come down here and fall into the ponding. So on top of this framing, we've got to come through and put our panels, these concrete panels here. So they're basically put on a mold. After they dry, we pull them off. There's some stucco on that one, but we'll be basically putting these onto the frame. We'll screw them on there and tie them up, and then once we patch it together, it'll look like natural stones and water trickling down. The hardest part is getting it to trickle where you want to. We have the rock work. We pour, this is all one single pour, so we can actually stamp these rocks while it's wet with the product that we use. These back here aren't too good looking. They're going to be covered anyways, so those panels are going to cover all this. So this wasn't, that's definitely not going to be shown, so we didn't really work too hard.
Yep. Those panels they're making for the pan, and they're working right now on that one.
So we're basically on this water feature that we're doing in this courtyard area. We're on the panel phasing right now. We're putting the panels onto that metal frame before. We have Aaron here. He's a lead supervisor for the Roswell branch, and he'll kind of explain to y'all what we're at the moment doing.
So what we're trying to do is pop out this rock. We had a flat surface here, so we put this big piece in so we can come out about 5 or 6 inches. It tapers, so Joey right now is cutting pieces so we can fill in all of these sections, and then we'll mortar those to make it look like that rock comes out of the water feature. So what's the capital of Texas? I said Denver. I said, you're wrong.
Alright, so we're on this water feature at the moment. Before you guys saw the framing, the metal framing that we had put up. Basically the framing is a structure that's going to hold it in place. You can basically walk on this. Here, watch, I'll show you. It's pretty strong. Basically we just use our panel system. We glue all, screw them in first, and then we go through mortar. It's like a mortar material. It's actually a special material we use, a mixture, but it's set up strong. I mean, I can walk all over these that were just mortared a day or two ago, and it ain't gonna crack or fall apart. Right, so basically here we got this cap poured out of our concrete mix material that we use. Now I'm just going through and staining it to kind of match our rock work that we did on the house there with the same material. Once it's dry, it'll blend in pretty nice. All right, so here's the drainage that we kind of showed the other day. Basically in that courtyard area, sorry, I'm out of breath. I was digging here. I'm not as able as I was to before, but anyways, we put a drain in there to drain that water out of the courtyard, because there's a lot of pitches on the roof that drain right into there. We're going to be running it out 4-inch line here. We have it stubbed out for now. We're waiting on whether we're going to put a ponding here or we're going to do a French drain. So that's kind of what's holding us up at the moment. Once we can figure out which way we want to go, then we'll continue on that.
Okay, so what we got going on here is we formed these 2-foot by 2-foot concrete pads. We stamped it to have the rock texture. We gave it a 6-inch gap so we could put fake grass in there. And that's something that we bring to the table. We actually do a lot of customized concrete. And we use a different type of concrete so it actually looks white. But we're prepping for the grass. Once it's all prepped up, we'll go ahead and install the synthetic grass. Here we have the 2x2 sand pavers that we did. We prepped the synthetic grass for the dimensions that it needed to be. Then we stapled it down and put in our sand to make it look real.
To do is start putting these small pieces, start filling some gaps.
Hey, it's Joey again.
Cut our synthetic grass to the shape that it needed to be. Are you going? It happens every time. It happens every time. Here we have the 2x2 pavers that we did. What is that? That's not mine. Right there.
All right.